All right, we're back with another one. Back after a little spring break, reacting again. Uh, so Frank Zappa. We're gonna do another Frank Zappa. This one was one of the earlier comments on the other Frank Zappa off of Apostrophe. I think I did a suite of four songs. Don't Eat the Yellow Snow Suite. Was that this song was the best tune on the album in his opinion, sound level a 11481. So we're going to do this one. I will be adding musical analysis and breakdown on the music. I'm a musician. I play a lot of these instruments, or have at least played them at an intermediate and some of them an advanced level. So I hear a lot of these things. I will try to balance things more. I know a few of you in the comments didn't take too kindly to me stopping and starting and talking music and talking instruments and instrumentation. Um, but I will be trying to add that musician commentary to these songs. So if you want to listen to the song, go listen to the song. If you want to find another reactor that just sits there and listens and smiles and bobs their heads or makes funny faces if they don't quite understand what's happening, go do that. If you don't want to get any additional musical commentary or my take on things, and like I said, I will try to balance things more and stop it far less. I do understand that after kind of looking back on these and listening to these, that we want to keep them going. Maybe only stop it two or three times a song, and try to get the gist of at least large sections or swaths of the music before I dive into it. But I will be diving into some things about the musicians and the musicality. I'm not a lyricist. I'm not a lyrics guy. I can appreciate the lyrics and the storytelling. There's probably a ton of other reactors that have the lyrics up and listen to that and read the entire lyrics, and they don't listen to the nuance of the musicians. And so there's lots of that. Go check that out. I will be doing musical analysis and just sitting back and enjoying the song as much as I can, because I know that's what a lot of people, like to see. They don't want to hear their favorite song chopped up, let alone hear it with additional comments and analysis. So I'll do my best to try to balance things a little bit. You guys can let me know, is it a little better? Is it worse? Is it still just as bad? I know there's probably a lot. I feel like the Zappa heads out there are some man, and it's the few Zappa people that I know, it's like, don't mess with their Zappa. So with Zappa stuff, I will try to do less stopping and starting and talking over. But I might stop it for an extended period of time, click through it, skip it, go to another video, whatever you need to do. But let's get into the Stinkfoot. It says there's a visualizer, so hopefully that doesn't distract me too much. But apparently this is the best song on this album, and I really liked those first four songs. That was amazing. So this is a big claim here. So if you other people in the comments want to disagree with that, you can fight it out there. But let's get into Stinkfoot.
In the dark, where all the fevers grow, under the water.
And I may jam along to these songs a little bit, so
in the morning,
that's how I like to listen to music. Sorry.
by your radio, do the walls close in to suffocate ya? You ain't got no friends, and all the others they hate ya. Does the life you've been leading gotta go?
I love the
Let
echo
me straighten
vocal.
you out about a place I know. Get your shoes and socks on,
Drummer
people,
playing
it's
with
right around
brushes.
the corner. Out through the night and the whispering breezes, to the place where they keep the imaginary diseases. Out through the night and the whispering breezes, to the place where they keep the imaginary diseases.
Oh. Yep, there he is.
this has to be the disease for you.
Just like
Now,
rip
scientists
guitar in
call
your
this
face
disease
and then gone.
bromidrosis. But us
what
regular
I love
folks
about-
who might wear tennis shoes or an occasional python boot know this exquisite little
Snake boots.
inconvenience by the name of
Stinkfoot.
You know, my python boot is too tight. I couldn't get it off last night. A week went by, and now it's July.
How
I finally got
silly.
it off, and my girlfriend cried. You got stink
She
foot,
cried. Oh,
stink
I
foot,
like
darling. Your stink foot puts a hurt on my nose. Stink foot, I ain't lying. And you rinse it off, do you suppose?
Here, Fido! Fido! Come here, little puppy. Bring the slippers. Barf, barf, barf.
Wow. He does such cool wow effect type stuff, like auto wah maybe here. Is this double? I think it. Wow, to double that is like. Is he doubling it on an electric auto wah and then an acoustic guitar? Electric auto wah, acoustic guitar? Or is it just split with the different effects? Wow. Alright, I'm gonna stop it there. That was some extremely sloppy, not really extremely sloppy. It kind of gave you the impression that it was sloppy, but he's a master. But it was just all emotion and like raw, like I'm just gonna fucking pluck this out and jam this out and feel this. Like it wasn't perfect. It wasn't picked perfectly. Or I mean close to. I mean really honestly with what he was playing, but yeah, if you know what I mean, it was just kind of like you know how like Jimmy Page will play something and it's like, damn, that was sloppy, but it sounded so good at the same time. Like I feel like that is kind of what Frank is in this song so far. I think we're in C. It's like a C blues kind of a thing, a C bluesy 6/8 bluesy song. I think the drummer, at least at the beginning when I was paying close attention, it sounded like they were playing with brushes aggressively. I mean, it was loud. It sounded like he was really hitting the drums, but it had that brush. I believe it was with brushes. Pretty positive. And or maybe one hand brush, one hand not, but sick vocal echo on his vocal stuff. I loved that. Delay, whatever you want to call it. And zany, silly, hilarious, just like a joke. It's just a song about his stinky feet that his woman and the dog, or the woman and the dog, or whatever, like these snakeskin boots. They got a snake problem, a python leather problem, because they don't breathe. They're too tight. It's like we've all been there. We've all had stink foot. You get some leather shoes. Your feet don't breathe in them. You take them off, and it's like you got your old lady's crying because it brings a tear to her eye, not for a good reason, because it literally is burning her nostrils, and she's crying. So hilarious, like content of the song, like what the song is about. but to have just a sick ass like bluesy groove and these like he comes in on that first solo just like ripping with the wah. You know, he's just shredding and going crazy. And then the second one was like a little bit more tasteful with that sick auto wah. And like it was almost like auto wah guitar solo in my right ear and then like an acoustic guitar in my left ear. And it sounded doubled, like it was slightly different, but that could have just been a delay and then two different effects and then pan. But if he actually played that solo and like wrote it out, played it on his guitar with the Ottawa and like his electric guitar, it sounded like it might have been like a 2 pickup, like a humbucking guitar, and then played it again like extremely close with all that like kind of improvisation feeling, picking and extra like 30 seconds and stuff like that in there. If he played that on his acoustic guitar or on some clean channel guitar and he doubled that whole long solo, which it kind of sounded like he did, but that sounded almost too difficult with what he was playing to be able to do that accurately. Like, because you have to play that twice. You have to play that in one take and then play it again in another. So I'm leaning towards maybe it was just like delayed and panned and different effects were on it. But if anyone knows and could provide any kind of proof or whatever that he doubled that guitar track, I would be absolutely flabbergasted, blown away. I'm like, I know he's a guitar master, but that's something special. It sounded like he did, but I just have a hard time believing that I could just be naive to Zappa because I'm so new to him. But yeah, good stuff. Great sounding song so far. Hilarious content. Let's finish it out. Let's go the rest of it without stopping. I might jam a little bit to it. So if that's going to trigger you, trigger warning, go to the next video that you were going to watch on your queue. But we're going to have a little bit of fun. Oh, and the keys are amazing.
Then Fido got up off the floor and he rolled over and he looked me straight in the eye. And you know what he said? Once upon a time.
That backing riff is so tasty.
Somebody say to me, this is a dog talking now. What is your
the dog talking
conceptual continuity? Well, I told him right then, Fido said, it should be easy to see. The crux of the biscuit is the apostrophe.
Okay.
Well, you know, the man that was talking to the dog looked at the dog and he said, sort of staring in disbelief, you can't say that. He said, it doesn't, and you can't. I won't, and it don't. It hasn't. It isn't. It even ain't. And it shouldn't. It couldn't. He told me no, no, no. I told him yes, yes, yes. I said I'd do it all the time. Ain't this boogie a mess?
That guitar. The brushed tone on the drums is so tasty. What are they saying? The boot. Okay, I like this layering. 3/4. I love that bass guitar right there, agreeing on that. Cool little fade with him just rocking out on the wah. Yeah, it's like these solos sound so just like improvised and just like he's just jamming it out, and like it doesn't sound written. I know he does a lot of like musical writing, but like some of this stuff is probably just like ideas and feels that he's going for, and then like the notes that he plays are just all like feel and conversational. I really liked that ending. What a sick ending, how that tails off into something kind of like layer based, and those vocals come in almost like an extended outro, and then he's adding in that other layer vocal himself, the backup singers first and then him. Yeah, and then the drumming is amazing with the brushes, playing typical drum beat, drum stuff, patterns and fills and all that stuff, but just with brushes. It just gives it a different. It just gives it a little bit different feel or tone to the drumming. It's not as biting. It's kind of in the background. It's a little bit more jazzy. I caught myself thinking there, towards the middle or towards the end, vocally. It might just not be. There's probably a lot of people where it's just not their thing. I see the draw in it. I see the musicianship and the talent behind his vocals too. I mean, there's something there. He's not a virtuoso singer, I don't believe. I haven't really heard that yet. Not that he ever really wanted to be or really tries to be. Doesn't really fit with the music, but I caught myself. I said all that to say that I caught myself feeling there at one point that his kind of way up front dry vocal storytelling and silly vocals there, I could almost have just removed them and listened to the band and his ripping guitar in the background. I mean, he's shredding guitar the whole time he's doing these kind of like cut up, stoppy starty, dry upfront vocals, and I'm just thinking, I hear him singing, and then I hear everything that's going on in the background just at like half of a level below him, volume wise and like mix wise, and I'm just thinking like, dang dude, you could just take his vocals out, and this is like kind of an easy jazzy blues type of a instrumental piece that's just you could just groove to. So I don't know that it's not that I don't like the song or his, from what I've heard so far, his kind of his sauce, to how he does things, but I could definitely see how it wouldn't necessarily be for everybody. If that makes sense. I know, like with like the band Rush, there's a lot of people that just like Rush. They're cool, but I can't listen to it. Geddy Lee's voice is just unlistenable, and his isn't anywhere near that type of a probably of a debate. But yeah, it's very much spoken, slightly kind of inflection sing-songy, like and a super animated storyteller might be, that type of a thing. But I feel like it almost takes away at times from the music in the background. I don't know. That was a sick song, but that was just one kind of little thought I had. I'm probably just maybe not accustomed to that stuff yet, and I haven't listened to enough of Frank to just be like, this is what it is. This is what you will hear. There's certainly times where, you know, the background vocals came in and he kind of was singing more towards the end, where they were doing the layering stuff where you're like, okay, this is adding an extra musical voice to this. But it's almost like, you know, like a rap tune. I've been listening to a lot of like Aesop Rock and some other rap stuff recently. And the rap, you know, they're that voice up front, and that doesn't add an extra musical element. It's more of a rhythmic element, which I can see is more like his thing. His vocals are more like storytelling. He likes to have fun with them, and it really mainly adds a rhythmic element. Like he does things da da, but and he'll wait for the beat, and he'll come in like an extra percussionist kind of a thing, with the rhythm of his voice. And it's not so much, hey, I'm adding this like solo vocal melodic or harmonic line over the music so much. I probably more Zappa I hear, the more I'll hear of that kind of thing. Maybe he gets other people to sing with him and sing for him. It seems like maybe he does. Like people were telling me that it's Ikettes that were singing on one of those last couple of Inca Roads, and you know, Tina Turner or whatever, or not. Yeah. And the Ikettes. And so like maybe he gets other people to come and sing, and like, I know I'm not a singer. Like I don't really want to. So maybe he does that when he wants that, when that's in the composition. But sick song, bluesy, awesome song, fairly simple as far as chord changes and stuff. The keyboard, the organist, the keyboard player was kind of coming in and doing some cool jazzy little like tension and release, avant-garde, not off pitch, but you know, doing something, you know, up kind of jazzy, half step chromatic type little runs, and then settling back down to the C at the top of the phrase and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool, pulling and pushing and pulling a little bit with that keyboard player. But yeah, that was really dope. I want to listen to that song again and just kind of hang out. I feel like you really need to listen to any of these. You probably need to listen to 3 or 4 times before you even like kind of understand it. The lyrics for 1, all the different instruments and what they're doing for 2, how they combine together and how they're talking to each other for 3, and then 4 just to hang out and listen. So, but yeah, that was really, really cool. I liked that a lot. All right. And the Zappa people, is that a better mix of stopping and starting, talking a little bit in the middle so you can skip through, talking at the end if you want to click to the next video? Is that a little bit better? Let me know. Trying to aim to please, but also still trying to do my thing and have some fun for me a little bit. So, all right, sounds good. Till next time.